Hi, right now we are going to learn about how to make background blur. In last lesson we learned how to make image blur, but in this lesson we are going to learn about how to make background blur, and that is an awesome thing because nowadays it's become a trend for making the images background blur. Sometime the teenagers and male female also are picking some selfies and they're looking for making the background blur. If it is not possible with your smartphone or with your DSLR camera, then you can make it manually using the Photoshop. So let's take a look how you will make the background blur of an image. And we have to open our exercise file and we have to open an image. So let's do that. File menu, open option, and inside our exercise file you will get this woman in red dress with umbrella. You will get this image and then you just have to select it and then you have to click open. Here we go. You can take a look. A beautiful lady. She wear a red dress and she hold a blue umbrella. And we're going to make her background blur, and we will keep only her transparent. So let's start the process how we will do that. So right now we have to duplicate this background layer, and in this lesson I'm going to show you an advanced method how to make selection of subject without using quick selection tool. In our last few lessons we used this quick selection tool for making the selection, but right now we will use an advanced method for selection. So let's duplicate the background layer first, then we will focus about the selection. So let's duplicate the background layer. So you just have to right click with your mouse, then you will get this duplicate layer option. So let me click duplicate layer and let me write background blur. Okay, cool. So here is the name called background blur, and let me click OK. So here is our duplicated layer, and with this duplicated layer we are going to make this entire image blur. Not entire image, the background blur, and we will keep this beautiful element transparent. We will not make the entire image blur as like before. So let's start the process. So let's start the selection part. We have to make a selection for these beautiful ladies, and please make sure that background blur layer is selected. Okay, so the advanced method for making the selection of this subject, you have to go with the select menu. Then you will get this subject option. So let me click subject option, and it will take a little time. Magic, you can take a look. We got the perfect selection of this beautiful lady, cause this feature is using for selecting a subject, and this beautiful lady is the subject of this image, and that's why we got the perfect selection. And if you want to change something else, like a small portion in her hand is skipped, so I want to make the selection for this skipped part, and that's why I want to use this quick selection tool. So here is the quick selection tool, and please make sure this add selection form is enabled. And let me use this tool, and right now we do have the perfect selection. So this is amazing, and this is one of the advanced method for making any subject selected in Adobe Photoshop. So our selection part is done. Now we have to add a layer mask. That means we are going to separate this beautiful lady from this image, and that's why we will add a layer mask to this image. So you know where we have to click. Yes, you are right. We have to click on this add a layer mask option. So let me click on this add a layer mask option, and you can take a look. We got the beautiful lady separated from here. So let me turn off the background layer, And you can take a look, we got the perfect selection and we detached her from this entire image. So let's turn on the background layer. And right now we have to do another part, that is we have to convert this layer into a smart filter. So please make sure this background blur layer is selected, and now we have to convert this layer into a smart filter, and that's why we have to click on this filter menu, and then you will get this convert to smart filters option. So let me select it and a pop-up will appear. You just have to click OK. Okay, you can take a look. Our entire layer is converted into a smart filter, and this is the time for making background blur. So let me explain you one thing. Right now, if we apply the Gaussian blur to this image, what will happen? I really think that the background will be blurred. No, it's not, because you selected the background blur, and if you apply the Gaussian blur filter, then this beautiful lady will be blurred, not the background. So for making the background blur, we have to select this background layer, cause this background layer have the entire image, I mean the original image, and we do have the subject or this beautiful lady separated from another layer. That means right now we do have two ladies in here. This is the original image, and this background blur layer is separated beautiful ladies from another layer or another image. That means we do have two beautiful lady here. That's why if you select the background blur layer and if you apply the Gaussian blur effect, then this woman will be blurred, not the background. Let me show you. Let me select this background blur option, filter menu, blur option, Gaussian blur. Take a look. The entire lady got blurred, but we are not looking for that. We are looking to make the background blur. That's why I am clicking cancel, and that's why you have to make the background layer selected. So right now I select this background layer, and now we have to go for the filter menu, then we will go for the blur option, and now we will go for the Gaussian blur option. Magic! You can take a look, we got our entire background blur. So let's change the radius from here. Let me reduce the radius. Here is the slide blur. No blur. So let's increase the radius. We got a slide blur. I think this looks really good. But if you want to make a hard blur, then you just have to increase the radius like 124. Then what will looks like the entire background is hard blur, and we got only the transparent subject, but it's not looks good. You can keep it if you want this radius pixel, but I think this 8.8 radius pixel seems good. So let me click OK. Here we go. This is the simple process for making the entire background blur and keeping the subject transparent. So I'm pretty sure you enjoyed this lesson, and I'm requesting you please have some practice, because if you don't practice along with me, then you will not be able to keep in your mind how to make the background blur. So let's have some practice, and if you have any single issue about this lesson, or if you have any question about this lesson, don't hesitate to ask me. You just have to use the comment or message section for contact with me. So I'm going to see you in next lesson.